It's Friday night, and you and I are podcasting.
I'm hanging out with you virtually.
That's right.
What a bunch of shit.
That's right. But hey, you know what? I heard that the SETI project was able to pick you up on long-range radio frequency. Jodie Foster told me that she's going to jump into the big, giant, spinny thing, and that you're going to look just like her dad. I think that sounds like a bunch of bullshit, but...
Dude, seriously? Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to have to ask you a solid.
Okay, what's that?
Big favor. We're friends, right?
Yeah, sure, man. Whatever you need.
Big favor.
Yeah.
You need to find whatever audio they have and delete that shit right away.
This is the incriminating evidence that's going to keep Jason Murphy from being a United States Senator, everybody. Welcome to the Rage Select podcast. We're recording a day later than usual because, stuff. But yes, Jason, you're on your way back. You're getting real close. Do you have a space update for me this week?
Yeah, I'm in this place. It's actually, I thought it was like a hospital or something. Mm-hmm. It's big. It's very clean. Everything's very clean. I just stopped here to refuel and poop, honestly. And they've got the cleanest bathrooms, but everyone really has a total stick up their ass.
Really?
They don't want me here. They searched my ship. Mm-hmm. They're really, really uptight. There's this guy in this black suit. He's got like asthma or some shit. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be honest with you. He's kind of a dick. And I thought it was like a truck stop, like a fancy truck stop, like a Buc-ee's or something like that. And I was like, you guys really need to change this whole Death Star name if you want people to come through here. And they just kind of looked at me and just kind of looked down their nose. I'm like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
Where's the bar? And all dudes. All dudes.
This moon is a total sausage fest, bro. It's just
yeah. And it's and the security protocols, and it's just such a pain in the ass. I'm really ready to get out of here.
Yeah, I could see that. I know. I bet you. I'd be willing to bet with you, Jason. The Grand Moff Tarkin is probably really fun to do shots with. That dude.
Oh. I'll look him up. Mm-hmm. He looked kind of like a crotchety old bastard. And then these like terrorists.
Yeah.
These like religious fanatic terrorists came in talking about the Force and shit. We caught them, but they got away because security here, it's really uptight, but they're really, really inept. So yeah, but they call it the Death Star. And so I'm just hanging out here for a little bit.
Okay. All right. Didn't you start? Was it the first place that you left? Yavin? Isn't that close to Yavin where you are right now?
Strangely, yeah, they keep talking about Yavin, and I'm like, yeah, whatever, I don't care. And they're all excited about their plans and about this Yavin place. And I'm like, they're gonna kill all these fucking terrorists. I'm like, yeah, kill the fucking terrorists. up with the Empire, which see, they've got a whole branding thing. The Empire. Nobody likes an empire. And again, calling it the Death Star.
Yeah,
come on. Why don't you call it, I don't know,
Freedom Star. The Freedom Star. They liberate them. They got a liquor cabinet over here. Did you see that?
How did you get in here? Where did you come from? Christ!
I'm making mint Russians. You know what they are?
What's a mint Russian? Jesus, Brian.
It's vodka and Hall's Vapor Rub, and you got to drink it real fast.
Mm-hmm. Can I have one?
Yeah, I'll make you a mint Russian.
Okay.
Do you set it on fire?
Officer, what?
How did you even get it? This is a very secure facility. Were you still on my ship? Because I distinctly remember flushing you out of the goddamn airlock.
All right. You want some truth time? All right. Number one, I'm real good at holding my breath. Right. Fact 2, the Death Star has a tractor beam.
Right.
Fact 3, profit.
Okay. I like fact 1 because it seems like Brian Brushwood is calling space his bitch. It's like, what? You just hold your breath.
Look, man, I'm not calling her my bitch. Maybe that chick I felt up once in 6th grade. That's who space is.
Sad thing is, she was in 6th grade.
Oh, shit.
This was last week.
Oh, space. You're so crazy.
But they're different. It's not technically pedophilia because she was in 6th grade. She was some of that Octurian poontang. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, damn.
You don't even know if it's a man or a woman.
I feel like every time Brian Brushwood and Jason Murphy get close to each other, like just spontaneous fan fiction erupts into the air, just nonstop. It's like geyser of fan fiction.
This is literally like the 3rd time I've heard this today.
Oh, yeah?
like there was like, I don't know, just you two just get together and do your talking thing. I was like, all right.
Yeah, I just like to get out of the way. I'm just like, yeah, let him do whatever. It's fine.
Hey, I hear those terrorist guys are coming back to this place later. That's what everyone's thinking.
Oh, dude, whatever. Like, lightning never strikes twice. You guys know that. That's a bunch of. Like, what are you? Some kind of Yavin truther? Is that what it is? You're gonna be all like, oh, it's they're coming back. They've exposed a flaw.
Oh man,
the anti-Death Star will be born, and he will come back to us.
Yeah,
a bunch of fucking jihadists with their force mumbo jumbo.
Oh, dude, man, they want to put a theocracy in. You know what? We have a sensible rule by an all-powerful dictator in a secular state.
Dude, that guy is creepy, though.
Oh, whatever, man. He keeps.
Did you meet him?
Well, no. I saw him. I was. Oh, jeez. Yeah, he's
He looks like he wants to touch you in the no-no square.
Dude, no, he needs to go to a freaking dermatologist.
He does.
For one.
His skin is very bad.
Why don't he needs to wear a kick-ass mask like his second in command? Personally, man, I say we.
Oh, the dude with the asthma.
Yeah, fucking asthma 11, man. That's what I want.
He's like an asthmatic samurai.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I'll tell you what, man. It's I was talking to some stormtroopers. They all have like really similar interests. Have you noticed that? Like they all
interests in that most of them are maybe a little bit retarded.
Well, I mean, they just all. It's like you tell the same joke. It's Groundhog Day. My conversations with them, it goes exactly the same. It's like they're the same goddamn person.
You may be onto something. Maybe.
So wait,
I wonder if there's something behind that.
In the Star Wars canon, since the prequels came out, are we now to believe that the?
All right, is this table talk? Did you just ruin our role playing experience? Did you just back out?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
He just went OOC.
Oh, fuck that. If you could do that, then I could just poof out of the game. Poof! Brian just vanished.
Damn. Wow. Okay.
He's gonna go make some more mint Russians.
Shit. No, I was just curious. I don't know if since the prequels happened, if we are to believe that all the stormtroopers are supposed to be Jango Fett's. Is that what we're supposed to believe? No. Okay.
No, they are not. They were up to a point, but I believe around the time, right around episode 4, if I'm not mistaken, and this is all expanded universe stuff because the movie never really explained that, but they started conscripting non-clones.
Okay, but surely there's got to be there's got to be like 100 Jango Fett's just like hanging around somewhere, having like a Jango circle jerk party or something like that. I mean, like, what do you... it seems like it would be a really weird thing. Like, eventually, once they'd all lived lives or some of them had survived all these battles and shit, they would have kind of distinctly different personalities, but they're still all the exact same person. Like, they're just sitting around somewhere in, like, Django rehab trying to figure out, well, I don't even know what's real anymore, man. It's just...
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think only... do you want to get into a nature versus nurture conversation, Jeff?
I don't really. No, I was just asking about Jango Fett.
I wish they would take their mask off and some of them were Jamie Foxx.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe some of them were the classical guitarist who was missing some fingers.
Okay.
Django Reinhardt,
right. Yeah, that's weird. Do you think?
And some of them can be Franco Nero, Django.
Are they? Could there some of them be ladies? Are they all dudes, or are there some storm lady troopers? In
the expanded universe, there's probably some lady stormtroopers. They're also probably better shots.
Yeah.
I've only read a few of the expanded universe books because a lot of them are Dog shit.
So I got to tell you this: when you watch the extended edition, original Star Wars: A New Hope, right?
Like special edition?
Yeah, special edition. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't watch that shit.
The fucked
I'm
up
an
edition.
American.
Well,
I'm an American for God's sakes. I'm not a Satan-loving commie.
I feel like there's two big. I mean, like I feel like they fucked up different parts of the movies. I don't actually really so much mind the special edition of Empire all that much, but in the first movie, the worst is the Jabba the Hutt shit, right? That's
yeah, that was pretty bad.
But the second worst thing that the worst thing is that Greedo shot first. Sorry.
Yeah, you're right. No,
got my priorities all messed up.
Yes, thank you.
Second worst thing is Jabba the Hutt, but the third worst thing is they felt the need in that scene where Han's running through the Death Star, and then he like turns the corner, and like in the original there was like 4 stormtroopers there, and he was like he's running the other way, and in this one they put like 100 stormtroopers, and yet he manages to just turn around and fucking poof out of there, and like he opens the door on where every stormtrooper lives. It's like the closet that they put every stormtrooper in the entire Death Star into, and those motherfuckers couldn't kill him, and it was like it was really stupid. There was news last week or a couple weeks ago, right, that now that Disney has a hold of this shit, they're like, well, yeah, we're gonna put out Blu-rays of the fucking uncut version.
That wasn't confirmed. There's all sorts of legal stuff in the way because there's ownership stuff for the first movie with Fox. So yeah, everyone was treating that like gospel, but it's not. That is all rumor. Now, it seems like a natural fit that they would do that, but I think it's easier said than done. I mean, that's really a license to print money, but I would be surprised if we didn't see it at some point. It would be stupid if we didn't see it at some point, but it has not been confirmed.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, it was funny because I had so many friends when they were putting out the Blu-ray of the special editions. They were like, well, I'm not buying that shit. I want fucking remastered. Blah, blah. Then it came out and it just sold a gajillion copies. It was like,
oh, I bought it.
Why?
Yeah.
Why would you buy that? That was terrible.
Because it said Star Wars on the box. That's why I bought it.
I like the idea of just like they just start randomly putting the word Star Wars on different things. You get at home and go, wait a minute, this is Aliens Colonial Marines too. What the fuck, you guys? Oh man, I got tricked again.
Oh, don't even joke about that. It's like episode 7's gonna come out, and it's like, just kidding. It's 2 hours of footage from Aliens Colonial Marines.
That's right. That would be like,
and then I never talk in the theater, and I think people that do deserve to be sodomized with a Buick,
right?
But if that were to ever happen, I would scream, Pitchford! Pitchford! From hell's heart I spit at thee.
Oh man, someday I often, this is one of those things that you're thinking about from time to time, right? It's like someday Randy Pitchford might put out a game that you like. And
he's done Borderlands 1 and 2, which I haven't really played that much of, but what I have played, I liked it. But that does not wash away like the bloodstains in Macbeth, out damned spot. That Aliens Colonial Marines. Yeah, one day he and I are gonna fight.
Yeah,
I mean, we are gonna fucking fight, and I'm gonna show him some kung fu like that motherfucker has never seen.
Jason, you don't know kung fu though,
dude. I've seen so many kung fu movies.
Yeah, but that's
and I'm not talking about this new shit.
Right.
I'm talking about the old school shit. And that I've seen enough. I know a little bit about kung fu, Jeff.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Well, outside of your foray onto the party ball or whatever we're calling it now,
dude, party ball. I'm totally gonna suggest that to that old wrinkly guy.
That'd be great. The party ball, distance to party ball. But did you do anything else this week that was interesting? Do you feel like talking about anything?
May have gotten in trouble for pickpocketing.
Okay.
Can't really tell a story about that.
Welcome to the Blue Balls podcast, everybody. I am Jeff.
Yeah, sorry. Did a little Diablo 3 streaming thing that you crashed my party.
I did.
And like a dickhole.
Yep. Exactly like a urethra.
Yeah, played for about an hour and a half, then I had to run off and do some shit, and so abruptly stopped it. But I want to do that again. Streaming on Twitch, twitch.tv/Jason Rage Select, I believe is what it is. But I'll announce it on Twitter and on my Facebook page and all that.
That was the worst part of that, was that you went online, you were just like, yeah, I'm going to start streaming on Twitch, and it was just like, a link, Jason?
I didn't know because it was on the PS4 and I didn't know how to find it.
Yeah.
I didn't know what the link was, and then people started telling me, and I was like, "Oh, okay." So I retweeted it and all that. But yeah, that's the Twitch link. But I'm going to do that again, and yeah, when I get home, I think me and Allison are going to do it both.
She so enjoyed playing Diablo 3. She was just like, when we got done, she was just like, "Kid, do you just want to play more Diablo 3?" And I was like, yeah. I mean, I've already beaten Diablo 3 like 4 or 5 times at this point, but yeah,
as has she.
Yep.
I gotta talk to that bitch. Is she stepping out on me with some Diablo 3 with you?
No, Jason. You know that I can't play any one game for more than about 20 minutes before I'm just like, yeah, this guy gotta play some more Dark Souls, just something. So yeah, all right. Well, okay. So you did a live stream. Anything else? Anything else interesting?
Man, I'm trying to think. I saw a good movie called The One I Love.
Mm-hmm.
That
What's
was
that about?
good.
Ninjas, robots?
No, it's I really can't tell you what it's about.
Okay.
It's an indie film.
Oh, okay. You're not going to tell me what it's about.
No, I'm really not. You need to watch it though.
Okay.
If you look at it, you look at it and you think, I'm not fucking watching this movie. You look at the cover and you're like, I'm definitely not watching this.
Yeah.
I think it's getting released in theaters like right around the time. Well, I think today, actually, as of this recording.
Okay.
But it takes some weird turns, and it's a good flick. So check it out. Also, I devoured Joe Hill's Lock and Key, like within like the course of 3 days or something like that.
Is that
the comic?
Oh, okay.
And it's fucking great.
I thought I'd heard you talk about that before, though. How long has that been out?
Okay, maybe I did. Oh no, it's been out for a long time.
But you hadn't read it before?
I had only read like the first trade or two.
Okay.
But I read like all 6 trades over the course of a couple of days recently, and it's fantastic.
Okay.
Joe Hill is just a phenomenal writer, and his artist in this, Gabriel Rodriguez, is top notch. But yeah, I've read, all of Lock and Key now, and all but one of Joe Hill's novels. So if you got the chance, check it out.
Okay, cool. I haven't done. I mean, last week I guess we went out for Mandy Savage's birthday to a place here in town that I'd heard a lot of good stuff about, and ended up being kind of overpriced garbage. And then I went.
What was that? Tell me what it was.
It was a place called Slab, a barbecue place.
I haven't heard of it.
Yeah, it was a food trailer here, and then they opened up a storefront kind of near to where I live, and so I thought, hey, we'll go over there, and we did. And it ended up being like $10 for a sandwich and some potato salad and the barbecue. I mean, the thing is that they didn't put enough. They didn't like overload the bun with meat. So between the kind of just stock standard barbecue and then it seems like they really were pushing they had 3 or 4 different barbecue sauces. It seemed to be the big thing. So. And the buns were real fluffy and stuff, and so I just couldn't really taste very much about the meat that I was eating. I don't know. So we did that, and then we went out to the bar for a little while, and then at the end of the night, I went with them to Gordo's for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
It's too much.
Tell them what Gordo's is.
Gordo's is basically a place where you get a giant donut, and they just put a bunch of shit on top of it. And I got, this is maybe my mistake, but I got the Fat Elvis, which is this giant donut, and it's got bacon, peanut butter, honey, and fried bananas on it. And it was just too sweet for me. I mean, I wolfed down the entire motherfucking thing because I paid like $6 for a donut. But yeah, I don't know.
That's the thing, is that they're often so sweet I can't even finish them.
Yeah, and it just seemed like I'm more into the whole savory thing. So yeah, that was last weekend, and then we had our stream. I think I was drunk like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Yes, I got drunk like 5 days in a row. And then this week, I was going to do Jeff versus Beer on Wednesday night. And a few people invited me to the bar, and I was like, oh, well, I could just go drink at the bar instead of drinking at home. But that did not go very well because I drank like 5 glasses. Like, they're not pint glasses, but they're kind of close, just the normal sleeves that you get at the bar. I drank 5 of those in like an hour and 15 minutes, and then I went and I got a pitcher, and I drank the entirety of the pitcher on my own. And then got real stupid, and I walked my tab. Somehow I got to Jim's. I don't really know how that happened, but somehow I did.
Wait, did they have your card?
No, it was one of the places where they swipe your card and they give it back to you. So they did.
Okay.
They charged me.
See, that's not a big deal.
Yeah, they charged me at the end of that. I feel bad because, next time I go in there, it's a bar by my house I go to all the time. So I felt real bad and wanted to go back in. But I knew that different people would be working than the day before. So it wasn't like I could go back and just be like, yeah, I'm sorry, you guys. I went to Jim's, got real dramatic on Facebook. Oh, God, just... You guys...
Yeah, I saw that shit.
Oh.
I had people texting me in space asking me if you were okay.
Yeah.
And I was like, he's fine. He's bitching about, fucking YouTube comments or something. Don't worry about him.
Yeah.
He'll be all right.
Yep.
And I wanted to see... So we've got some friends that get emotional on Facebook. And my response is usually, quit being a bitch. Stop it. Because my thing on Facebook and really everywhere else is don't show weakness.
Right.
Don't show weakness. Don't show emotion. And so I nearly, you posted some emotional stuff on Facebook. And I nearly responded, hey, I can't read your post because I don't speak pussy.
Right. Yep.
And then I didn't because I was too busy doing something else. And maybe there was a voice in the back of my head that was Allison saying, sweetheart, don't be such an asshole.
Well, the thing is...
But then I almost texted you and was like, delete that shit, you fucking homo.
Yeah, well, it was up for about 45 minutes before I did delete it. And then...
Yeah.
And then I posted something else that was kind of snitty, and then the next day I even went back and deleted that as well. Like, it was just stupid. Like, 99% of my life it's fine, but every 1% you get off. And like, the thing is that I honestly don't remember walking my tab. I only vaguely remember Jim's. I remember posting stuff on Facebook, and it was just one of those things where there's certain times when you shouldn't be, when Facebook should. Facebook, I wish there was a camera and an app on your camera that could look at your face, that could do facial recognition, and just bring up a thing that says, you're too drunk to use Facebook, bro. You're too drunk.
You need a breathalyzer on your Facebook. Well, like, Jeff, blow.
Right.
Oh. Nope. Sorry, sir. Facebook and Twitter, totally locked out.
Well, no, but here's the thing, is that most of the time, even when I get drunk, all I end up doing is just posting music videos at 4 o'clock in the morning on Facebook.
Yeah, usually, but even those have some sort of emo notes to them, and I read it, and I just kind of shake my head like,
yeah, you
fucking moron.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just going to, every time I see them, I'm just going to start like berating you in the comments.
Yeah, that'll
teach him.
I wish you wouldn't, but it's yeah. I think that after that particular night, I may have come to a few realizations about a few things. But anyway, that's what it is. And trust me, everybody,
are you going to get the operation?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get turned into a Mantis man, so I could, finally get it on with the Mantises the way.
Yeah, I support this. It'll be such great publicity for Rage Select.
Yeah.
I'm in.
It's going to be a lot of work just to have sex one time and get my head bitten off. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Oh God, we're so gonna film that and put it up on the site.
Well, enough about Jeff's emo-ness. Let's talk about video game news, because believe it or not, there's actually kind of a shit ton this week. So TGS didn't happen, but Sony did do this little press conference thing before TGS. So I think TGS happens like a week or two, and they did like a little thing where they did a bunch of roundup. We had a couple of Nintendo Direct things. PAX was last week, so there were some announcements over there. So we've got a fair amount, but it's not quite as big as it was for Gamescom. So let's see. I didn't actually watch the Sony press conference, but we're just going to go down the list, and hopefully this is going to be fairly easy to get through, and it's not going to take forever. So first, there was a new trailer and a real revealed trailer for Persona 5. And along with the announcement that Persona...
Oh, good!
Yeah.
Was that convincing?
No, you don't mean that.
It didn't sound...
Who are you trying to convince? Nobody actually believes you. Like, it would be more...
no, I'm trying to be positive about games that I don't give a flying fuck about.
Yeah.
Which is most of them, but whatever.
Well, I'm pretty sure that most of this list is probably going to be that exact same thing for you. But what's interesting about Persona 5 is that, so I don't know if you know this or not, and I can't speak for Persona 3 or below. I think Persona 3 came out on the PlayStation 2, if I'm not mistaken, right? That's right. I'm going to look it up. But Persona 4 came out way late in the PS2's life cycle. Like either right after the PlayStation 3 came out or right before it was going to come out. Like it was a very late generation PlayStation 2 game. And with Persona 5, I think it was kind of assumed that it was going to be a late generation PS3 game because, Jason, they had to spend all that time working on Catherine. Remember? This was very important.
Oh, I remember Catherine. That was some weird shit.
But they did announce that it's coming out on both the PS3 and the PS4. I don't remember if that had been announced in the teaser that they did before. I mean, I know that they had a whole countdown timer live stream thing where they had a really cryptic teaser for Persona 5, but I don't know if they actually said the platforms. But it's going to be on the PS3, going to be on the PS4. The trailer was appropriately cryptic with just, the main character on a train, and then there's a big fire in downtown Tokyo or something. I don't know. But yeah, that's cool, and I can't wait to play it. Also, in games Jason Murphy really just doesn't give two shits about, they did announce there's going to be Disgaea 5. Which, have you ever played any of the Disgaea series before?
Hey, why don't you just talk for a while, and I'm going to go, I don't know.
Anything?
Do something I give a fuck about.
Right. Okay, well, let's go a little bit faster down the list. I haven't played Disgaea either, so I don't really know.
You haven't played any of the Disgaeas? I
played a little bit of 3, I think, or 2, but they were so kind of hardcore with the... I don't know. It just wasn't really... I wasn't really in the mood to play a game. Like, I was much more into Fire Emblem when that came out from a tactical RPG, or XCOM. Those tickled my fancy way more than the Disgaea series did. It might have just been the characterization of the individual characters. But, like, I tried playing a couple of them, and I tried playing the Prinny game on the PSP, and that was okay, but I never finished it. Something about them has never really managed to hook me. Nipponichi is a company that I don't really... their stuff is interesting at the beginning, but I never really get into it enough to finish it. So outside of some like, I have to finish this to review it for the website, I never really have gotten into their games really
all
much
right.
at all.
We probably ought to make a point to play those on the dojo, or at least one of them, right?
Oh, sure. I mean, we've actually played a whole bunch of Nipponichi games on the dojo. You missed most of them because I played them with Grant, which is now why he hates JRPGs with such a passion.
Why he hates you?
Well, and me, yeah. In fact, let's see. Dragon's Crown was actually a Nipponichi, but that was developed by Vanillaware. I thought that some of those other ones that we played, Akiba's Trip, that was Nipponichi. Well, but that was made by Acquire. I don't know. They're a publishing house, whatever. Dragon Quest, they're putting out a Dragon Quest game on PS4, or I think it's PS4, called Dragon Quest Heroes. It's going to be like the Hyrule Warriors, Hyrule Warriors. So it's going to be it's going to be in the Dragon Warrior Dragon Quest universe, but it's going to be more of an action game than an RPG, which seems a bit bizarre, but whatever.
Interesting.
Bloodborne has a February 5th release date in Japan. Still no concrete release date for America. Damn yous all. Resident Evil Revelations.
Oh, really?
Yep. Resident Evil Revelations 2 confirmed, as we talked about last week with the rumor There's a Hot Shots Golf. Who cares? There's a new Ease game coming to the PS4. Like, it's weird reading down this list how much I'm like,
Ease?
wow, I really don't care much about Japanese game.
Wait, Ease, like Y''S, Ease? Like Wanderers from Ease? Wow.
Yes.
I haven't thought of that in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There have been a bunch of Ease games. I think there was one for the PSP that came out a little while back or something like that.
Okay.
But yeah, PS4. Let me check.
Wasn't Wanderers from Ease, which is the first time I heard of Ease, wasn't that a like TurboGrafx 16 game?
Oh, let's see. Ease 1 released 1987 for the PC and MSX2, 88 for the Famicom Master System, 89 at DOS. Ease 2, Famicom Master System, Windows. Seems like PC is actually your best bet for a lot of these. Looks like a lot of them were released on the PC, at least in Japan. But the last one was Legacy of Ease Book 1 and 2 for the Nintendo DS, which I think was a remake. Or no, the Ease 1 and 2 Chronicles for the PSP and for Windows. So it looks like they were remaking some of them. There was one on the PS2, there was one in 2001 on the PC. But yeah, it's been a little while. The last one came out in 2009 in Japan, 2011 in the States. There's also a bunch of other stuff. Re-release God Eater 2, Rage Burst, Yakuza 0 is coming out, which is apparently set in the 80s. A pretty sweet screenshot.
That's kind of neat.
Yeah, the Yakuza guys looking all like Miami Vice and shit. You're not really a big fan of Yakuza, right?
You know, there was a lot of stuff about the Yakuza games that we played. Well, I guess it was just one of them that I liked, but then there was a lot of stuff that I didn't like. A lot of it devolved into just weird, pointless silliness, as I recall. And I really feel like if you're looking for something that feels like that, go with Sleeping Dogs, because I love the shit out of Sleeping Dogs.
Yeah, I think that, I don't know. I think that Yakuza, I think that you and I miss a lot of what's actually going on in Yakuza, because I think we played 5 way back in the old days. Was that the one that we played? I think it was 5.
I thought it was 4, but
was it 4?
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't know.
I don't know if 5 came out since then, but it was 4. But the thing about it is that I feel I'm not entirely sure, but I'm pretty certain from stuff that I've read that like the characters that were in that game are characters that have been in the Yakuza franchise back to like Yakuza 1 or 2, and it's a continuing story with all those games, so that there's a lot of it that's going to be based in your desire to see the story of these characters continue forward, and that by not having played the previous ones, you're probably missing a big chunk of, it'd be like playing Metal Gear 3, right? And then not knowing anything about Snake or any of that stuff, where there'd be a lot of shit that probably wasn't necessary, but you were probably just missing out of the storyline.
Oh, okay. So I'm willing to give it the benefit of the doubt. Again, there was a lot that I liked there, but then there was a lot that just felt like, oh, I'm delving into some weird Japanese minigame. But maybe there was something carrying over that I missed that seemed completely random and out of left field that was a carryover from previous games. So yeah. I'm actually willing to give Yakuza another chance.
Yeah, well, there'll be a 0 at some point. I'm sure that it'll get some kind of release.
Or I'm willing for Grant to give Yakuza another chance.
I was so glad the last couple weeks that I've been able to get Grant out of because there hasn't been anything out, and then like what does come out are these weird JRPGs, and that's all that I've had to have Grant play. And so I was really really happy last week to let him. Actually, I was really happy that The Sims 4 came out. Did you watch the video for The Sims 4 that we did?
No, I have intended to, but I did not.
Okay, you should watch part 2. Everybody should watch part 2. If you don't normally watch part 2s, you should watch part 2. Part 2 is fantastic.
Did anyone use, or did you use, one of our listeners made skins of all of us? Did you use those?
Okay, spoiler for part 2. Yes, and it was great.
Yeah.
I had the character, the crazy hot dog man that we made in part 1. It was you and me and Allison and Grant, and I put us in this one house, and then I had him go, and I had him just, like, at a certain point, I had to start spurring myself on in the video because I just wanted to watch that character watch our characters, because it's like I didn't do anything with these Sims, but we walked in and you and Allison's Sims were flirting with each other, and Grant was like over.
Yep.
I was reading a book by myself. I seemed to really want to be by myself, and then at one point, your Sim came over to talk to my Sims. They're doing a little thing, and the little Sim bubble for video games came up, and I was just like, "What is this madness?" So I don't know when this comes up. I've been thinking, because there was a bunch of people who liked it so much that they wanted us to just play it for Sunday streaming this week. So we may just end up playing The Sims 4 for Sunday streaming in addition to that 4. I got hooked, man. I don't know what it is.
What?
Like I'm all over The Sims. Just been dumping like big 8-hour chunks into The Sims of just like, I don't know. I gotta go to work. I gotta upgrade my.
It's like I don't
skills.
even know you.
I don't know myself. I don't know what it is. If it's just been that the games that have been coming out just haven't been getting me or anything, but it's like kind of nice just to play The Sims. It's super
Man, I go away to space for a couple of months, and you start acting like some dumb fucking Sims noob.
Pretty much. I can't even. Yeah, I don't even know why. What's weird though is that The Sims 4 currently doesn't even have an announcement that it's coming out on consoles. It's just PC. And it was like, this seems like a no-brainer, man. Like, put this shit on the PS4, the Xbox One, and then it just seems like then, you're like, hey, honey, I know that you haven't wanted me to drop all that money on a PlayStation, but like they're putting out this new Sims game for it, so maybe we could play that or whatever.
That's a good point. That's a very mercenary thing to do. It seems smart, right?
Yeah, and I don't want to sit here saying that like I'm saying that all women love to play The Sims, but most of the women that I know fucking love playing The Sims.
Yeah, I mean, everyone gets called like when I'm talking about comic books. Like the other day, I made the mistake because someone this girl wanted to borrow Saga by Brian K. Vaughan from a friend of mine. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, yeah, you should read Saga. Bitches love Saga. And and she was offended. And I'm like, that's all right. Yeah, she was offended. I'm like, well, yeah, whatever. Bitches love Saga. Bitches love The Sims. Just deal with it. There are certain things that bitches love. Oh, shit. Maybe it was because I was saying bitches.
I would think that, isn't that's just like a meme, though, isn't it? I mean, people can't actually be saying, I gave that bitch an X, bitches love X. And you can't have somebody actually taking that shit seriously, right? Nobody's actually saying that seriously, are they?
There's a meme.
Are you saying it seriously?
No. Jeff, come on.
Yeah, this is a classy show.
I would never.
Yep.
Would never.
Well, speaking of shit bitches love, they also announced at this Sony press conference that they're putting out a pink and white Vita. Really weird.
Dude, bitches love pink Vitas.
I don't even understand. I mean, like when I go to the store, we've talked about this a few times before, right? But like if I go to the store to buy a Vita, I probably just want to get whatever the default one is. And if they're like, well, we're out of those, all we have are these, bright yellow ones. Be like, all right, just give me that. Whatever. Fucking, I don't care. Like, I'm not looking to make a statement about who I am with the color of my handheld gaming system.
It doesn't matter what color your Vita is. The whole stigma there is that you're still the dumbass that bought a fucking Vita.
Actually, there was a story that I didn't pull up that talked about they've got this new, I think it's a Samsung Xperia mini tablet. So it's like the size of a big phone or a small tablet that is able to do streaming with your PlayStation 4. And so they have like this clamp that you put onto a PS4 controller that puts a little arm that comes out of it, and then you put the tablet on that, and then you can play it like it's you could stream whatever games have streaming support from your PlayStation 4 onto this tablet. And I looked at that and I was just like, I want that. I want to be able to play. I don't want to have to stop playing PS4 games when I go downstairs. So. But yeah, that was pretty much it. There was a Luminous Arc Infinity game for the Vita. I don't really know what that is. They're adding themes to the PS4 and the Vita. So instead of just having the default background, you could get wallpapers and shit like that. Like, ooh, because I spent a lot of time on the cross-media bar looking at wallpapers. Wait, there isn't even a cross-media bar anymore, whatever the fuck they call it, on the PS4. So that was it. That was what they talked about. A lot of Japanese games. And I don't know. Seems like there's some good stuff in there. I'm
gonna be Jeff, can I be blunt?
Yeah, sure. Go for it.
I'm usually very diplomatic and delicate.
Mm-hmm.
But all of those announcements that you told me,
yep.
I don't give a fuck about none of that. I don't care.
Yeah.
And all of those they announced, I was like, yep, whatever. Jeff's still talking. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Don't care.
There was one other thing. I don't know. Those were just the highlights that I got off of Joystick from the conference. There was one other thing that they talked about from Namco Bandai where they put together this really weird tech demo for the Morpheus, where it's basically just you hanging out with like an underage Japanese schoolgirl in her room. And you've got the you've got the Morpheus on. And this is something I never actually thought about for VR helmets, because they all have the like motion tracking in them, right? So they've got a gyro so they can tell when your head is moving so that you don't throw up all the time.
Yeah.
So it was actually, I watched a video for it. It was kind of interesting because this little virtual girl would ask you questions and you could nod your head yes or no, and she would react to that. And I was like, oh, right, that's like a no-brainer, right? Because it's built into the tech. But then it's like, oh yeah, if you like perv up real close to her and stuff, then she gets all freaked out and stuff. And I'm like, what? Japan? Come on, guys.
Oh man, that reminds me of a Jim Gaffigan joke, where he says, "I wish I was Asian. That way, maybe my interest in Asian women wouldn't be so creepy."
Yeah, I don't know. I encourage people, like, you could get the press conference and you could skip over. It's right around an hour, and it's really just weird. It's kind of like I don't know. It kind of reminded me a little bit of Milo, if Milo was a Japanese schoolgirl. You know what I want them to do is I want them to make this thing, and I want them to market it exactly as it is right now. But when you actually buy the game, it's just a really old dude with his shirt off instead. And he just laughs at you. He just points at you and laughs at you the entire time. And if you get too close to him, he tries to like perv up on you. Just have everybody oh God, what have I done? This is not worth $10. Shit.
Yeah, and you lose points if he touches your bathing suit area.
Yeah. Well, speaking of things that Jason probably doesn't really care all that much about, did you see that they are creating a new 3DS?
No, I missed that actually.
Okay. So there was a press conference, and actually this kind of has me excited to go maybe when this comes out and get another 3DS. This is the I don't know if I know what they're calling this yet. But
4DS?
No, I think it's just like I don't know if it has a
3ET.
3. No.
4ET. All right, no, just tell me. I don't know.
I don't think it has. I think it's just a hardware revision. I don't know if they're actually calling it or branding it any differently. But it's coming in the regular and the XL versions. But they've got a couple of really interesting things they've added to it. One, and probably the most interesting, is that above the Y, X, and B and A buttons on the right hand side, they're adding a little nub that's going to be able to be a second analog stick.
Okay.
So it's very small. It's not as big as the puck on the left-hand side. It looks like the size of a button, right? But it's just like another little stick that you could use. So technically, this can actually have, without having to strap on that huge, ungainly bullshit thing they put out, a second D-pad. They moved. Let's see. Let me go down the list here. They added in the NFC, the near field communication tech for amiibos for use with Smash Brothers without having to plug anything else in. They moved the cartridge slot to the front of the unit. They will let you take the back off, and you can actually put a micro SD card into it. They added 2 extra shoulder buttons that aren't like vertical like they are on a regular game controller. They're actually horizontal, so you'll have the Z, R and L, and then like a little bit in from R and L, you'll have ZR and ZL.
Weird.
Yeah.
All right.
It's got a little bit of extra battery time, but the thing that I think is most exciting to me about this is they claim, and I'm gonna have to see it to believe it, Jason, but they say that they've changed the screen, the 3D screen somehow, to give you more latitude with your vision to be able to still see the 3D effect in.
That's helpful. Thank you,
Yes.
Nintendo, for figuring that shit out.
Yeah. So if that shit actually worked, if I didn't have to like lock my head into that, is this a tester Fight Club fucking head screws thing in order to play?
Oh yeah,
a 3DS?
you've got to get all like wired up like it's the Ludovitco treatment.
Yeah, exactly. So if they could do all that, like I wouldn't mind plonking down money for another 3DS if they. I mean, that's a lot of improvements, right? Additional storage space, additional inputs. It sounds like they've, especially if the XL, because I never got a 3DS XL. If they could get a big one, I still motherfucking wish they put some kind of video out on that thing so that we could play some 3DS games on this show. But like, meh.
Yeah, that's kind of a constant thorn in our side, right?
Kind of.
So we've had to ignore a lot of stuff.
I would have loved to have played Bravely Default or the new Phoenix Wright or the new Phoenix Wright versus Layton or Fire Emblem, or just pick a 3DS game. There are plenty of really good 3DS games out there, but it kind of feels like a waste of time sometimes because a lot of the stuff that comes out is so long that I don't want to put the time into it, and I don't really want to be hunched over a 3DS for hours and hours and hours at a time. Like, god damn it. It's more that than anything else. Like I like playing Fire Emblem, but I just don't want to be hunched over a 3DS. I'd like to play it on my TV, and I don't understand why that's so hard. Especially now that the fucking Wii U has it essentially has two screens, right? Your TV and the gamepad. So
yeah,
charge me $150 for a thing to plug into my Wii U that'll let me play 3DS games on there. I will gladly pay $150 to be able to play some of these games. Like, I'd love to play Bravely Default on my couch instead of.
My threshold is about 50, I think.
About 50? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go, Nintendo. Put it somewhere in between, I guess. They also said, okay, so they announced that. They also announced that they're putting out, I don't know if I played it with you or not. I think I did. Do you remember a game called Xenoblade Chronicles on the Wii?
Sounds very familiar. Yeah.
It was a JRPG that took place on two giant robots that were locked in combat, and everybody lived on the giant robots.
Oh, yeah. That game sucked.
Well, I think that I don't necessarily think that the game sucked. I think that it was on the Wii, and it was like late in the life of the Wii and the previous generation of consoles. So it kind of just looked like shit, right? You could up-res the Wii to 480, if you got the component cable, but it still just kind of looked like ball sack. So I think that if you took that ball sack looking game and then you squeezed it down onto a 3DS screen, I'd probably be more interested in playing it than I was on the Wii, which I know kind of goes exactly against what I was just saying, but there were some Wii games. I mean, I came into the Wii's life very late, and there were some Wii games that just look bad, man. Like, I'm not a graphics whore or anything, but fuck, they just looked really not good.
Yeah, and that's forgivable with some stuff, but really that's the problem. You really have to keep up with the current generation's graphics. Unless it fits the game. Like with Minecraft, it doesn't matter. There are a lot of games out there that it doesn't matter. But then you play some stuff on the Wii or the Wii U, and it absolutely does matter.
Yep.
And that's kind of a tricky thing to try to guess and determine. But you play some games and the graphics are unimportant, but you play some other games and the graphics are actually very, very important.
Well, I think especially when you're playing like a JRPG where they're having these big sweeping vistas or big giant monsters and stuff, is you really want that stuff to look really good. And the art design in the game wasn't bad. It's just that I've been used to at a certain point. I don't want to say you can never go back to old games, because we go back and we have nostalgia for older games, Super Nintendo games, stuff like that. We've talked about this on the show a bunch of times, but when everything that you're playing, when you live in a world where games like Uncharted or Gears of War or stuff like that exist, and they all look really good, it's hard to go back to a 480p game that's just kind of muddy looking, right? Like, that looks like a PlayStation 2 game. It just doesn't. It's hard to get super excited about that. So yeah. So I don't know. Maybe when it comes out, I'll get back into Xenoblade Chronicles, because they're making a sequel to Xenoblade Chronicles on the Wii U, and it's a franchise that I kind of interested in, but never was able to really get all that far into.
Oh, Grant.
All right, Jason, we have spent a lot of time here talking about things that you don't care about.
Yes.
It's time to talk about something that you do care about.
I'll be the judge of that.
Saints Row, Get Out of Hell. Did you
I got lots of tweets about this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in. I'm in.
Did you watch the trailer for it?
Yeah, baby, I watched that trailer and it made Mama's nether parts wet.
Yeah, but you know that we're not actually going to be playing as it'll be Loretta gets kidnapped by the devil, and then you're playing the whole expansion as Johnny Gat going into hell to blow everything up and shoot the devil in the face.
That sounds fun, but it's disappointing that we don't get to play as Loretta.
Well, I tell you what. I figured that might not be super exciting to you, but I'll tell you what will be super exciting to you is that when they said that this was coming out, they also announced that, I think, and let me find it, but they also announced that they're releasing Saints Row 4 for PS4 and Xbox One. As Saints,
really?
Mm-hmm, Saints Row 4 re-elected for the same day that it comes out on the Get Out of Hell comes back, $30 PS4, Xbox One with all the DLC that's come out up until that point.
Extra high res Loretta, you're all welcome.
Mm-hmm.
You are welcome.
Well, you know what I want, Jason, is I'm not really focusing on this. What I'm focusing on is you have a PS4 and you might actually get a chance to play through Saints Row 4 because you never did.
I never did. That's true.
And there's so many things in that game that I was just like, my fucking God, why am I playing this? Jason, you got to come over here. This is like a Jason Murphy moment.
I know.
So yeah, I'm really excited about that. I think that some people are a little bit don't necessarily like the whole Johnny Gat worship that's happened in the Saints Row series because they wrote him out of the game in 3 and then, things happened in 4. I don't think this is much of a spoiler because they slathered him all over the marketing for this. So if you're listening to this, you probably already know that. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's fine. I think that John told me that my first thought when I saw this was, you guys need to quit with this shit and just get to work on Saints Row fucking 5 already, right? Quit. You've already had 1 billion DLCs for Saints Row 4. Put Saints Row 5 out. He told me that apparently the company that's making this DLC is not the main core group who is actually currently working on Saints Row 5. So,
I'm not sure how I feel about that, Jeff.
Well, I don't know. You think this is going to be of lower quality than the previous DLC?
I don't know. I need to do some more research.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
Okay. All right, we got a few more stories here that I'm going to run through real fast. So apparently they're adding a genie into Warlords of Draenor for World of Warcraft that is Robin Williams. It's modeled after Robin Williams.
I've seen the pics. That's very touching and very cool. Yeah, that's awesome of them because, of course, Robin Williams was a diehard Warcraft player.
Yep.
So yeah, good for them. That's awesome.
Looks really cool. I think this is a cool way to do that stuff. There was also another rumor in this that they're well, you know what? I'm going to leave that. There was some people mined in some of the data of the update and thought they found out another thing, but I'm just going to leave that. People can be surprised on their own. But yeah, I think this is really cool. I've seen the model for it. It looks pretty cool. I kind of wish that there was some way to watch Aladdin with this fucked up crazy Blizzard genie in it. He's got like
that'd be pretty neat.
Big fuck off like Arabian Nights mustache and these giant bracers and shit like that. It's pretty cool. There was a story last week that said that I thought this was interesting just as a way of just keeping people aware of where video games are these days, that says that in its, let's see, when Twitch is at its highest of people viewing Twitch, it apparently draws in more viewership than CNN, MSNBC, True TV, and even MTV during their peak hours. So
holy shit.
Yeah. Twitch fucking huge. Like and it's one of those things that I've I just didn't see that coming. Like, I guess I should have, being that I'm in a business of making dick jokes while we play video games, and people seem to like that shit. But, like, goddamn, I didn't realize how much they like it. I mean, how many dick jokes could this world really need before we all just get tired of the dick jokes? I guess the answer is infinite dick jokes.
Oh, thank God. Woo! I was a little worried there.
You're about ready. You're like, oh my God, what am I doing with my life? I went to college for this shit.
Yeah. I graduated from Dick Joke University.
With a minor in testes. All right.
Phrasing.
Well, Oh, yeah. Yeah, phrasing. So here's an interesting thing that's not really... I mean, normally we get a lot of, like, there's a lot of news every week, Jason, about smaller indie-developed games or smaller games that do this thing or that thing. It's usually a trailer for this thing. But I found this one that I find fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. And it's called Upsilon Circuit. Have you ever heard of this before?
No, that's not ringing a bell at all.
Okay, so it's by the developer Robot Loves Kitty, and I think that we've actually, I don't know if we played any of their games before on the show. I think that, no, that was a different one. But what it is it's only 8 people at a time can play this game. So it's going to be like only, speaking of the Twitch streaming, right? It's going to be like a streaming thing, right? So 8 people get chosen, and they get to play the game, and then everybody gets to watch them play the game. But the audience has a bunch of participation where, like, the people don't get to choose what upgrades they get. And it's like a third-person kind of Diablo-ish type of game. But the people don't get to choose, like, when they level up, they don't get to choose their upgrades. Like, the audience will get to choose their upgrades. And the audience could do, like, Hunger Games style, trying to, like, put power-ups in for them, or they're talking about they want to try to come up with things where people are spamming the channel and the way that might change the game in certain ways or another. But it's got a really interesting... So the story of this is that the borough of Manhattan disappeared in the 80s, and there's now a game show hosted by this weird Max Headroom floating head that looks like Ronald Reagan. And so it's like you're watching this show when you watch people play. But the biggest thing about this game is that if you are chosen to play, you get to play. If you die, you never get to play this game again.
I think that's really fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds really cool. I want to see how this plays out. What's it called again?
Upsilon Circuit.
Okay.
And so apparently, like, they will choose people from the audience based on participation, and, like, people who are more interactive will get higher weight than people who are less interactive. And I really like it. There was a story actually a while back that was about a video game that could only be played off of a single USB key. Do you remember that?
I remember that, yes.
And I find stuff like this absolutely fascinating. I don't think that I have the time, because it's only going to be like an hour or 2 hours a week or something like that it'll be played, because they want to kind of put it up like it's this game show, like it's this crazy game show that people are watching. And I think it's fascinating. So when it comes out, I don't know if it's already on, but I think when it comes out, it looks really interesting. The gameplay itself doesn't actually look super. I mean, I've just seen some screenshots, and they look like a very generic kind of Diablo style top down running around hacking on stuff game. But I like games that are trying to think of different ways to do the whole putting weight behind death thing. And fucking hell, man, that's some weight behind death, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's some shit that, like, Kojima was trying to do. Or no, not, was it Kojima? No.
Yeah, it was Kojima.
It was Kojima. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, where it's like, if you die, it just uninstalls everything, and you got to start over.
What he said was that he wanted to... What he actually had said with one of the Metal Gear games was he wanted to make it so that if you ever died, the console would damage the disc to the point where the game was unplayable.
Right.
You had to go buy another $50 copy of the game in order to play it. And I'm like, that's some stakes right there, motherfucker.
Yeah. I love the idea of stakes in video games, but I don't know. Mm-hmm. If I'm paying $50, $60 for something, mm-hmm. I'm going to want to hang on to that shit for, ever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I understand. Which actually makes it perfect for like a smaller downloadable title, right?
Yeah.
Because if I paid $10 for a game, and then when there's another game like that that's a browser game that's where you're in the apocalypse, or it's called like 7 Days Till Oblivion or 7 Days Till Armageddon or something like that. And it's a browser-based game that logs like your IP and a bunch of different things about you, and it basically lets you make choices over the 7 days before the world ends. And then once you've made those decisions, you can never go back and play it again, apparently. So I don't know. I think that's really an interesting concept, because it really
very
does
fascinating.
A lot more weight to it. Finally, I only skimmed this, so I don't really know the details, but I thought, Jason, that you would appreciate it. The headline here is Sega pins Aliens Colonial Marines marketing mishaps on Gearbox. So
yeah, take it. I read this.
Oh, did you? Well, you tell me. You tell me what's going on, because I just saw it briefly.
Essentially, Gearbox was like, "Hey, we're being sued for all of this misadvertisement, misrepresentation of the product.
Mm-hmm.
Sega did all of that."
Mm-hmm.
And then Sega goes, "Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Here are all these emails that show how Randy Pitchford will be the figurehead of Aliens Colonial Marines marketing. And here's more documents, and here's more documents, and here's more documents. So go fuck yourself."
You don't fuck with Sega, man. Sega, they've been doing this shit for too long. Gearbox, you guys are like, toddlers compared to Sega.
Right.
Yes. Any excuse. You know what I love about Aliens Colonial Marines, Jason? I could bring it up on this show. We could shit all over it. There isn't a person on this website who will come to its rescue and be like, "You guys need to stop being so hard on Aliens Colonial Marines." No, everybody fucking hates that game, and I love it. It brings together all gamers of all races and religions and stripes and genders and everything. Everybody hates Aliens Colonial Marines.
Oh my God. It's like Ozymandias' alien at the end of Watchmen.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
It's like he unleashed it on the populace to unite everyone against a common enemy. Maybe Randy Pitchford is Ozymandias.
Oh, shit. And with that, we have no more news. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a quick break. But from there, we're going to go into your questions. And your questions should go to mail@rageselect.com. That is mail@rageselect.com. So stay tuned, and we will be back momentarily. All right, everybody, we are back, and it is time for the questions. Jason, do you have your answer cap on? Are you ready to dispense the wisdom to the people of the world?
I have accessed the wisdom of Dongacles. Mm-hmm. He will speak through me, for I am his vessel. Mm-hmm. I, tonight, am Dongacles reborn. So come, all of you tired and huddled masses, and allow me to rub all of Dongacles' wisdom all over your supple, naked flesh.
That got really weird. That got really weird for a minute there.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, neither do I. Anyway, this first one comes in from Henry, and Henry says, "Hey guys, coming at you with a question that's actually related to video games this time. I just got through playing the Sonic the Hedgehog reboot from 2006 as a joke with one of my friends, and it got me thinking about the last time I played a good platformer. Most, including Mario, Sonic, and to some extent Zelda, have become rage-inducingly formulaic, difficult for bullshit reasons and or just generally stupid. Do you think the platformer should have remained in the 90s, or do you think the genre could be revived with the right game or franchise? Stay classy, ladies and gentlemen. Henry. P.S. I would totally donate to the How Many Quesaritos Can Jason Eat Kickstarter." Oh, I forgot about that Kickstarter.
Let's do it.
I want to switch over to the Doritos. What are they called? Those crazy nacho bullshit things?
Doritos Nacho.
Are they
Grande? Shit, I don't remember.
What are they called? Doritos like Extreme or something dumb like that. Anyway, so Henry, I don't want to come at my fans, right? But what the fuck are you talking about?
Platforms aren't dead. They might not be as prevalent as they were back in the day, but there are still plenty of good platform games.
I mean, I guess we just had Shovel Knight that just came out that I thought was a really good platforming game. If you're talking about just straight up left to right platformers, I mean, both of the last Rayman games I thought did a really, really good job of kind of doing that. There's stuff out there like Super Meat Boy. I mean, I think that maybe the problem, it sounds like, from the games that he's listing off isn't really so much finding good platformers. It's just that you're playing the same franchises from the 90s. And platformers have moved to be something different.
A lot of indie games.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of not just good platformers, but some sublime platformers.
Yeah, exactly.
You're just not looking in the right place, man.
I think so. Because I think, here, we'll just bring up my Steam for a second here. Oh, yeah, Super Time Force. I guess that would technically count as a...
Broforce.
Yeah, Broforce, Guacamelee. That was a really good one.
Limbo, Braid.
Mm-hmm. Limbo. I don't know if those... I mean, Limbo and Braid, I think, they are technically side-scrolling games, but...
Yeah, but I get what you mean. I know what you're getting at.
I guess Braid does have a lot of... you do jump on stuff and that sort of thing. But yeah, there's plenty out there that I feel really are great, and I think that if you just... go to Steam. There was one, this is one. People were asking us to play this game, Freedom Planet, that actually looks a lot like a Sonic game. It's got a bunch of anthropomorphic kind of animal creatures and this really like super brightly colored thing running real fast and beating up robots and shit like that.
Dust with Dust with all of its furriness and that weirdness.
Mm-hmm.
Still a fun, decent platformer.
Oh, Dust and Elysian Tale?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of stuff out there. Go check out, if you have a PC, and if you don't, if you have I think it's, what was it, on the DS, but go check out that Shantae Risky's Revenge. That was another one that we played on Indie. Aaron and I played it on Indie Friday. Abyss Odyssey.
Pretty sure you made that one up.
What's that? Yeah, I like to think that from now on that if I can't think of an answer to a question on the email show, I'm just going to make some shit up. Be like... Yeah,
and then when people call you on it, they're like, "Oh, they must have taken it off Steam."
That's right. Yeah, I don't know what happened, man. Must have been a lawsuit or something. But yeah, I think that I actually like this question because I think that it speaks to a lot of different game genres that I feel went out of style when there wasn't any reason to, and in some of them we're seeing them come back with a vengeance that I think is great, like space combat sims. Back in the old days, that shit was all over the place, and now they're kind of coming back a little bit. But there was a good portion of time during the PlayStation 3, Xbox era when there weren't that many out there. You just couldn't really find them out there. And I'm glad that so many of them are coming back via Kickstarter and stuff like that. So, by the way, how many quesadillas do you think you could eat? Did we ever establish a baseline, like a challenge number?
I'm seriously considering this. When I get back to Earth, seriously considering the Quesarito challenge.
Oh, really? They're not that big, right? They're like the little tiny tubes, right? So do you think 10? Above or more or less?
Less than or equal to 10 Quesaritos.
Okay. So you don't think you can get through 10? Come on, Jason. I've seen you throw down on some Taco Bell before. Like, I'll let you do whatever you want. Like, don't eat all day and be real drunk at the time. How many do you think you could eat?
My stomach has shrank. I'm not quite the glutton that I used to be.
Mm-hmm.
But I would like to devise a new monetary system when I am king that is based around the quesarito.
Okay. So,
yeah.
Okay. So what would a game cost? Would that be like 3 quesaritos or like 12 quesaritos?
That's good. 3 quesaritos. That's good. Let's go with that.
Am I gonna have to get what? Am I gonna have to get quesarito change when I pay quesaritos? Is they gonna have to just give me back like a handful of ground beef? And here's your change, sir. Like, oh
no, you get in that case you get like you'll get like the cinnamon fries,
cinnamon crispas or whatever.
The cinnamon crispies, yeah.
I like this because it continually takes us closer and closer and closer to Demolition Man. That's really all that I'm looking for.
I'm actually okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
Bring on Demolition Man.
Brain sex and vegetarian Taco Bell all the time.
I will be Simon Phoenix.
All right, Jason, our next question comes in from Jordan Cobb. That guy.
Fuck that guy. God.
Yep. And he says, hello there, rageful gentlemen. My question this week relates to adaptations. What is one property you really love but think it wouldn't work at all being adapted into film or television, but would love to see happen purely out of being curious as to how it'll be translated? I asked this as I finally started reading Preacher, and it's amazing. Now I'm halfway through the series, and count me into the people a little worried about the AMC TV series of it soon that might not work. It won't work. I don't think it'll ruin the book, because if the show sucks, I always have the comics to fall back on and enjoy. Preacher will be very tricky to do, but then again, my favorite TV show airing right now is Hannibal on NBC, and I thought that wouldn't work, but it does. Same goes with how good the pilot for Constantine was. Thanks for reading. Keep up the great work, and praise Dogclays. I'm going to tell you right now, Jason, I don't think there's any goddamn way in the world that anybody has the stones to make Preacher as mean as it should be.
Preacher is so fucked up.
Yeah, it is a mean-ass book.
Yeah, it is mean. It is unrepentant, no pun intended.
Yep.
It is an awful, despicable, yet hopeful and beautiful book, and I don't think we're there yet.
No.
So I think that Jordan makes a very good point. I don't think we're there where we can see an adaptation of this that any network, even cable, even the like HBO or Showtime, would have the balls to truly represent. Well, there may be something that comes out that is very good, but it won't capture everything that Preacher needs to capture.
Well, the problem is that the two, I can't really speak because I don't remember. I mean, there's some shady shit with Tulip in there, but Jesse Custer and Cassidy are both sons of bitches. Like, they're not good people at all, to the point where, it's, I don't know. And the problem is that it's not even like they're not like the Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, not good people. They're like go into a bar and then maim fucked up people in that bar, kind of bad people. Like, there's some shit.
Oh, yeah.
That they do. That's
they're definitely the assholes in the equation, right?
Yeah. Well,
especially Cassidy. Cassidy's a motherfucker.
Yep. Yeah. I don't want to. Yeah, and I don't want to go into for spoilers, but there's like a whole season of that would have to involve just like, oh well, nobody likes Cassidy anymore. Nobody likes him on the show anymore. But anyway, as far as such a very weirdly specific question. What is one property you really love, but you think it wouldn't work at all being adapted into film or television, but would love to see it happen purely out of being curious as to how it'll be translated? I think that. Even if you take the caveat off the end of that, my answer is probably the same, and that's Transmetropolitan. I don't think there's any way they could make Transmetropolitan into a TV show, but I might be interested to see them try and fail at it, just to kind of see what comes out of it.
I disagree. I think Transmetropolitan could be done very well. I was recently evangelizing Transmetropolitan to Brushwood. Mm-hmm. I think you would really like it because it deals with transhumanism and it's very relevant to what's going on today. But I think it could happen. I think it could work. But it is exceptionally fucked up. Maybe not so fucked up as Preacher. But if I were to have to say what couldn't or what would be screwed up, but I'm still curious to see, oh man, that's really Brushwood is yelling "Why the Last Man" at me. He thinks that one would be fucked up, but something he would still be interested in seeing. I don't know. What about you, Jeff?
I already said Transmet.
well, Transmet. Yeah. Okay. Right.
I mean, I think there's like Why the Last Man. I only read like the first two trades, I think, of Why the Last Man, but I didn't get the impression that it couldn't be done. Like, it seemed like it wasn't, one of the problems that I have with Transmetropolitan is that the world of Transmetropolitan is so thick with futurism and just the way that people interact and the food they eat and the stuff that's all around, that I think that it would be a monumental undertaking just to get the feel of that world correct. I don't think it'd be necessarily that difficult. Spider Jerusalem's an easy enough character that you could actually you could write a contemporary TV show about Spider Jerusalem and it would probably be fine. But
get Tim Roth or Gary Oldman to play him.
Right. But the world of Transmetropolitan is so alien that I feel like you might have a really hard time even translating that to a point where people would there. I feel like there's a certain amount of people that would be able to get into it just because of the normalization of like, there'd be some people out there, Jason, that would see the fact that there's the Long Pig restaurant where they have people meet, and they would just be like, I don't want this show is disgusting. I don't want anything to do with it. Blah 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 blah. But I mean, there's a lot of comic book properties that are good that I don't think would ever really work very well.
I'm going to say that Zelda, The Legend of Zelda, would not make a good movie.
Okay. I think I might disagree with that. I think that it probably could.
I would be curious, but you need Link to talk in the movie, and yet if Link talks, people will be disappointed. Gamers will be disappointed. I would be disappointed.
Sure.
But I realize that he needs to talk in the movie. So, yeah, I'm really torn on that one. I would be really curious to see it.
Yeah.
But I honestly, and again, this comes from, from a quote-unquote writer's perspective, I would really be interested in seeing it, but I don't know how it would work.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I don't think translates well into. Yeah, I think that we sometimes make the assumption that properties can move between mediums, and I don't necessarily think it's. There's a lot of times I think there are properties that work best in the medium that they were created in. Now, not all of them, obviously. We've seen a bunch of the Marvel movies and stuff like that that's happened, but like. I've always thought, I'm rereading back through the whole Dune books, and I know they've made, they had the sci-fi series and the David Lynch movie, but so much of that book takes place in the main character's head that it would be very difficult to make that into a movie. What are you going to do? Or it doesn't, not just the main character's head, but it takes place in a lot of people's heads. So what are you going to do? Have just like constant monologue like in the David Lynch movie, and that doesn't work. Blah, blah. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. I like the fact that shit's getting out there. Did you watch the pilot for Constantine? I remember seeing that come and go.
I did not. No, I'm very curious. I'm a Constantine fan, not a huge one. I haven't read a lot of the books, but I've read several of the trades. I'm actually a fan of the Keanu Reeves movie, not because it's a good adaptation of Constantine, but I think it's a cool flick.
Yeah.
So I'm really curious to see how the TV show plays out.
And it's got crazy Tilda Swinton in it. I like Tilda Swinton. Well, speaking of which, I moved this email up. This is going to be a little bit further down the list. But, Jason, I'm interested in talking about this. We just got done talking comic books, so let's talk some more comic books. This one comes in from Manil, and his last name is... Well, I'll get to that after the question. Dear holy acolytes of the one true God, Dogacles.
Amen.
I watched a video concerning the hubbub about the variant cover for Spider-Woman #1, drawn by Milo Manara. The guy in the video made the point that Spider-Man has been known to be drawn in similar, oddly sexually suggestive poses, and that sexualization, having sexual characters, isn't wrong, and that it shouldn't be demonized as such. All his points seemed kind of valid, but they still don't seem to alleviate my feelings that the cover is kind of weird and overtly sexual. What are your thoughts on the cover, the requisite controversy? Also, secondary question, do you think as straight males we are just blind to obvious beefcakery, because empirically it seems there's a lot of that going on too? Your humble supplicant, Manil. And then he gives some stuff for the for that video. And he says, P.S. This guy exemplifies you're not wrong, but you're an asshole. Yeah, I watched that video. I was kind of interested to know this. I saw this come across. I keep seeing it come up in my Facebook feed from time to time with different things, but I don't think I've actually asked you, Jason, about what you think. You obviously know this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Spider-Woman #1, you guys should Google the picture of the cover if you're not familiar with it. Those of you who read comic books, and if you follow any comic book sites, you probably would have seen this pop up. But Milo Manara, if I'm pronouncing the name correctly, painted the cover with that. And I saw it, and I just thought, well, that's kind of tacky looking. Yeah, they put Spider-Man in some weird poses, but usually it's to make him look more arachnid-like. It's usually to make him look weird. If you see this, it is very cheesecake with her ass flagrantly displayed. And I saw it and I immediately thought, wow, that's kind of weird and tasteless. There are ways to make that cover look decent and not pornographic. But the minute I saw it, I thought, oh, that's a little odd. It just, I mean, her ass cheeks are just splayed out for the world, and yeah, it looks kind of shitty. And it's I don't know, I'm not a fan of it. I don't know why Marvel okayed it.
Yeah, I guess I was thinking about the other day, and I was thinking about that you seem to be getting, whoa, damn, don't just straight image Google search Milo Manara, because this dude likes drawing all kinds of naked people.
Exactly. And Marvel, were you not thinking, or did you just do this for the publicity?
Yeah, I mean, like, half of this is just porn. Like, I mean, you know, looks like he's a pretty decent artist and everything, but it's mostly just naked women doing dirty shit. But I guess the weird thing is that this comes up every so often when there'll be somebody talking about the horrible poses of women and stuff in comic books. But, I mean, I find it a little bit odd that people get bent out of shape about this stuff sometimes, because, like, I used to go to the comic book store, and there's whole comic franchises that are just based on how little the people are wearing in them. Like Vampirella or Lady Death or any of those Avatar comics that are essentially just kind of half porno and half weird superhero stories. I guess maybe it's different because it's a Marvel character and it's a big thing, but it's also a variant cover.
Marvel should be held to a higher standard. Honestly, there are lots of like cheesecake comics out there.
Yeah,
and some of them make a lot of money and get a lot of press.
Yeah,
but Marvel should not be a part of that. I really do think that Marvel should have stuff that empowers everyone, and there is stuff out there that does that. Like the She-Hulk comic right now is fucking fantastic without turning Jennifer Walters or whatever the hell her name is into some cheesecake stereotype. But then they go and do this, and it's like, you really just set mainstream comics back.
Do you really think that? Do you think that just this one cover does that much damage to comics and the legitimacy of comics?
I
mean, I don't really know.
That's hard to say.
Yeah.
I mean, I still think that there are a lot of comics out there that make comics look stupid and juvenile. I don't know if this is going to add to that or if people are going to forget about it in a couple of weeks. I tend to lean towards the latter because everyone's memory is so very short term these days.
Yeah.
But I just think that was in poor taste. And if you want people to buy a comic, I think women are going to see that and just go, oh, okay, well, that's a comic for boys. And we need more women to read comics, period.
Let me ask you, I'm looking at this image, right? And I think that if you just took this giant fucking valley that's going, the costume just directly up her butt, right? And if you were to just have her butt be regular sized, right? Like just angle her pelvis down so that she still is in the same position, but the cover wasn't just going straight into her ass crack. Would that be, do you think that, because otherwise, I mean, you talk about her and the whole Spider-Man thing, and outside of the butt in this picture, right, the rest of it seems like a fairly traditional Spider-Man pose. Like it's just, you know, when you see Spider-Man crawling on a wall or something like that, that seems to be the pose that she's in outside of this whole thing where you're looking directly into her rectum. I don't know. I just look at it from I've looked at some of this stuff over the last week, and I'm just curious for your opinion about that. What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, there's my opinion, and then there's the how everyone is really going to react.
Right. Okay. Okay. Well, that's it. Yeah, I don't know. I guess when I first saw that, it just seemed to me like the latest in a series of things that Marvel had done that seems like Marvel just seems to be doing shit to put their name out there, right? To just
see, that's what I was thinking, is like I thought maybe they did this on purpose just to get publicity.
Yeah.
Which I get. I understand, but I don't know if that outweighs the need to make comics accessible to everyone.
Okay. All right. The next one comes in from Daniel. Daniel says, "Hey guys, people always talk about cliches and stereotypes that they hate seeing in video games, but I don't hear about the ones that they still like. What about you all?" That's y'all, Daniel, please. What cliches and stereotypes you can't help but still enjoy when you see them? Thanks for the entertainment and take care, Daniel. So, stereotypes and cliches that we like. That's an interesting. I've never thought about that question before.
I know. Yeah. No, that's a difficult one. I'm going to have to take a second to think about that. I honestly don't know. Brian, what cliches and stereotypes in video games do you actually like?
I like it. You know what I like? I like it when the good guy.
What's that?
Double jumps.
Double jumps.
Double jumps. I wonder.
He likes crates.
Should we talk about?
Any opening cinematics for games. I'm a sucker for all.
Opening cinematics. That's a good one.
But are these?
Every time I will sit there.
Yeah.
Are these? I mean, these seem more like just straight up elements and not like cliches. I mean, I would say.
I don't know. Crates are a cliche.
Mm-hmm.
Double jump, maybe an element. Opening cinematics, it's hard to say.
You know, I'll tell you one that I like is that people constantly talk about how they hate the just pure good, pure evil morality dichotomy in video games. I kind of like that shit. I like the ability to be, to just be like, yes, I'm super good, or to see what the developers have put into, yes, I am super evil. I like that. I don't know. I think that it adds a little bit more to the presentation of the game because it's not just one story. It kind of gives you, like, you know what? I really wish that The Last of Us maybe it had some of that style. I mean, I know that the storyline that they were on was really, really tight, and I don't even just talk about the ending, but I'm thinking that it would have been interesting to have had some Walking Dead-like morality elements in The Last of Us that you had to make decisions about, like, am I going to let this guy go? But then that means there's going to be more enemies in the next level, or blah, 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 blah. A
little more gray would be nice there. But, I mean, I feel like The Last of Us was so, not to give any spoilers, but was really trying to define the story as gray that they didn't want to give you the option to be black and white.
Yeah. No, I understand. Let's see. Cliches in video games that you do enjoy. Upgrade systems? Does that count, or is that just more mechanics? I'm trying to think of video games.
That's more mechanics. I mean, I think maybe we're talking about story here, and I think the obvious betrayal is one that annoys me.
Was one that annoys you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The very obvious. We're not talking about the one that annoys me.
Right. Yeah.
No, we're talking about the ones that we like. Sorry, I got off on a tangent there.
When the obvious
cliches that we like,
the obvious betrayal turning out not to be the thing. You know what I really do enjoy is when a game story is sophisticated enough to get one over on me. Like, I will never forget Knights of the Old Republic because of the shit that happens in the back half of that. And I didn't see that coming at all. Like, I didn't see it a mile away. And I feel like in some cases they kind of even used some of the stereotypes of video games to kind of lead you down this one direction while not having you think about what was actually going on over here.
Yeah. Oh, here's one. The sidekick. And this is a kind of a storytelling thing, but the sidekick proving to be more than he or she actually is, whether it's more important or more of a deep character. Something like that. Something where they peel it away and you realize, oh, they're actually laden with gravitas or something like that.
This is weird, and I guess this is very general, but I want to throw this out there because I don't want to just completely not answer this question. I like winning. There's like, I mean, I enjoy games like The Last of Us or The Walking Dead or things that have like a morality tale and they maybe end on a downer note or a little bit whatever. But I kind of like, I like the end of Star Wars where everybody gets in a big parade and they get medals and shit, right?
None of these Pyrrhic victories. That is all too common, right?
Well, I think it's just I don't like it when a game uses that as a way to be like, ooh, look how edgy we are. Or like when Mass Effect 3 ended, right? And people, when we talked about the ending of that, and people were like, well, you just want Shepard to blow up the Death Star and have a fucking pizza party with all of his friends. And I'm like, yeah, I kind of do. Like, I understand what you're doing, and I understand, and I'm not going to spend too long crying about it because it's your game and you can do whatever you want to. But there's a part of me that has been watching movies and TV shows for long enough that, like, yeah, I kind of did want that because that's what I was doing the whole time.
Sometimes the good guys need to win.
Yeah, and 90,
you don't always need an ending like 7.
Right, and 99% of the time they do. It's just that, yeah, I enjoy that. So I know it's a cliche, and in some cases it takes a lot of the suspense out of a game because you're pretty sure that they're not going to kill off. Pick one. Marcus Phoenix. They're probably not going to shoot Marcus Phoenix in the face in the back half of Gears of War 2. So, so it takes some of the stakes out of it. But on the other hand, there's a benefit there of feeling like you are the hero of this cool story. I don't know. I enjoy it. Anything else? Did you think of anything else?
No. That's a tough question. Yep. A good question.
Yep. All right. This next one comes from Pollo Taco on the site and Josh on Earth. Okay. And he says, Dear Jason and Jeff, lately I've been thinking about the evolution of video games and tech. With new technology and powerful consoles, we are seeing video games take the next step in graphical improvements. My question is, how long will it take until video games start to tread into the uncanny valley? Can we actually see graphics plateau and have studios focus more on environmental details rather than the physical appearance of its characters, or is it something that only affects a certain style, like the Polar Express or Final Fantasy Spirits Within? Can we look at Sony's tech demo of the Dark Sorcerer as a precursor for next gen? Sorry if it seems like I'm asking a lot. It's just something that's been on my mind for literally the past year. Thanks for reading my question. I've been following you guys since the first days of the bar. Pollo Taco.
I think we've already gotten to the uncanny valley with some games. Other games take a different approach, but it's feasible that we're going to see more and more of it. You see a lot of indie games straying away from that to where they don't even try to be photorealistic, and that's fine. That's great.
Yeah.
But I think we already see some games that drag us into the uncanny valley, and it'll be good for a while. Oh, this is good. This is good. This is good. And then all of a sudden, it's not good, and you find yourself there in the depths and the shadows of the valley.
I think that a lot of what we're to be honest, from what I've seen when you look at this video game stuff, this video game stuff, right? When you look at this, I tend to find that when they do actual motion capture, it's not a problem. Like, go back and look at The Last of Us. Right? We talk about The Last of Us for like the last 20 minutes, but
yeah,
the motion capture on The Last of Us or Uncharted really humanizes the expression on those people's faces. Or even, do you remember when we looked at Infamous Second Son, right? And they did motion capture there as well. And those characters I thought were like super emotive and super good. But then you start to run across things like Beyond Two Souls that just... that whole game kind of sits in the uncanny valley for me.
Yeah. I actually almost used that as an example in my answer earlier.
I feel that in the last generation, though, that we probably figured out that if you're not going to be able to afford motion capture, then you're going to want to stylize the characters that you're using, because that then eliminates a lot of the uncanny valley problem. Because it seems like if you just make them kind of look like Team Fortress, then we're all cool and nobody has a problem. But if you're just trying to make them super, super hyper realistic and then you don't have motion capture, then that's when the problems first start.
Now might be a good time to stop trying to be realistic and just work on the technology until you get out of the other side of the uncanny valley.
I think that what's probably going to... I think that what you're already seeing it, but my prediction for this next generation, and as this stuff gets better and better, is that not traditional, but that top-tier video games aren't going to be able to do... that we're going to see a shift in the way that video games are made that we've already seen a little bit of, where you're not going to have hand-animated characters that are expected to look realistic. You're going to have motion capture. And the whole Fox engine they have this really fascinating video a couple years ago that I bring up from time to time where they talk about taking real-world objects and either three-dimensionally scanning them into the Fox engine or like going to a location and using a 360-degree camera shot to scan an environment and then process it into the video game. And I feel like we're going to start to see more of a parallel with movies where you're going to see it's going to start to be cheaper to dress a set that you want to be the environment and then scan that into the game than it is to pay somebody to go into the super hyper granular detail for every single thing. It's going to start to be cheaper to hire motion actors or actual actors who could do facial capture than it's going to be to pay a modeler to do 100 hours worth of individual, expression stuff. And I think that's great because I think that's how you get over the Uncanny Valley is that it's something that you can't at this point simulate. Of course, I don't know, never underestimate the power that we have, 30 years worth of development in the tech industry, or in the video game creation industry. Maybe we'll start to see engines that are able to manufacture the imperfections of normal motion capture and integrate that into a traditional into more traditional animation to the point where you animate it traditionally and then you have an algorithm that goes in and knows how to like crinkle eyes in certain places or adjust very small amounts of expressions to a point where it looks natural. But I don't know. I think that if you play video games, you just have to put up with a lot of Uncanny Valley because there's a lot of it out there.
Yeah.
All right. Next up comes from our friend Carl. Carl says, "Hey guys, I'm gearing up to go back into PC gaming. It has been an on and off again affair. However, I am having some issues wrapping my head around Steam. Steam comes across like iTunes, where for as long as you have an account with them, everything is good to go. But as soon as you decided the company/service is no longer what you want for your specific experience, you find that you are not the master over what you thought you bought. Instead, you are left with digital items that are non-functional or inert. When I buy something, I want it to be mine. That's my right as a consumer as outlined in consumer-specific law. So how do I go about actually knowing my digital PC games without using torrents? Regards, Carl." The answer...
This is a Jeff question.
The answer, Carl, is you do not. I mean, think about it. Like, if Steam shuts down tomorrow, right, and they just go, "Oh, we're done," I've got 500 games locked up into Steam. So what am I supposed to do with that? It's the exact thing that comes up time and time again, is that if you want the security of having a thing, then you got to go buy a physical thing. Nowhere are they. Okay. The only thing that I don't know about that is there is actually a thing on Steam. And Carl, I'm going to load this up while we're talking about this, where I can click on a game and I can say backup game files. And it brings up a thing that says, select the programs you wish to include in this backup. Only programs which are fully downloaded and up to date are available to be backed up. So when I pick a game and it says backup destination, I don't know what that does, but you might want to look into it. I've never used it before. Let's see. What does backup in Steam do? I've never actually used this particular function, but it's possible you might be able to back up your game and then unpack it at some point. But honestly, the price that you pay for the convenience of Steam and being able to get all those games directly onto your system is the fact that if Steam shuts down, we're all fucked, and there's not really all that much that we could do about it.
Yep, that has always been my problem with digital distribution.
Yeah. But, at this point in time, we kind of live in a world with digital distribution. When was the last time you bought a CD, Jason?
I know.
Music CD.
No, it's any sort of media, games, movies, music. It's all ephemeral. It's all just ones and zeros out there. And that worries me, and yet I also embrace the convenience of it. Yeah,
and it's definitely worth looking at. I think that... I think that if you were a company like Steam, I don't think, Jason, that Steam could just shut down tomorrow and say, well, we're done. We don't want to do this anymore. You're out. Because I'm pretty sure the very first thing that would happen would be a horrifically large class action lawsuit that would have people like me going, I have spent thousands of dollars on your service. You can't just you can't just turn it off. You know, like,
Oh, yeah.
we may have to litigate. You may have to refund 70% of my money or 50% of my money or something. But Steam is so big with such an install base, you cannot just shut down Steam on a whim and go, no. But yeah, the only way, Carl, is to get a CD, but even that is not forever. None of this shit is forever, because eventually, or maybe not, but what I've known is that eventually the architecture of your computer will change, the CD will get scratched or lost, they won't print the game anymore, blah, 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 blah. The best thing that I could probably recommend to you would be to just make sure that I think that if you just install Steam and then just do nothing but buy games when they're $15 or less, you will probably have much less difficult of a time with the idea of how much actual value you've sunk into Steam. If you're not buying $60 games every week, then you go, well, I might lose $100, but that was only 10 games. And
Well, still, it's the principle. You shouldn't have to lose any of it.
Sure. But I don't know how to solve that problem. I mean, it's one of those things where you go, the convenience is worth it. Not having to put in CD 6 of 12 is worth it. Or being like, I want to listen to the new Nicki Minaj album, and boop, 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 and boom, it's right there, and I can listen to it right now. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that there's always going to be people out there that are not entirely in the most legal of spheres who are trying to keep this stuff to make sure that it's going to be possible to access. And it's weird because the people that are doing this archival type of stuff, I don't really dig very much into it, but they tend to be, very much not, employees of EA and Activision going through completely legit means. But I don't know. Also, there's some question as to whether or not I really want to go back or whether or not you're ever really going to want to go back and play some of these types of games. And that's kind of where I end up. And I know that I'm not in the same position as everybody else, but like I keep my bunch of Super Nintendo games, physical Super Nintendo games hanging around, but I don't really know if I want to go back and play Gunpoint or Kill.Switch or,
Right. Yeah. No, that's a very good question. I mean, but still, the principle, you should have the ability to. I hate this idea that you're paying something that previously you would own it, but now you're just renting it.
Yeah. I totally get that. I totally do. But I even wonder about the alternative. If you had Steam and you were just able to instantly back up any game that you wanted, you could just say, hey, back this up. And like I said, there's a function in there that lets you back stuff up. If you're able to just say, hey, I want to back up BioShock Infinite and I want to put it on my hard drive in case anything ever happens. Well, hard drives go bad. So you're going to I've got 500 games. I'll back up all 500 games to some kind of, 5 terabyte RAID array somewhere. And then you've got to maintain that just in case I ever want to play Hotline Miami, in the future. And you start to have to weigh what it would actually take for you to do this outside of the value of having it forever. And I don't know. It's not a question that I have an answer to, because I'm on your side. I would love to be able to just guarantee I'm going to have this shit forever, but I don't know. It hasn't. I don't think there's been a big. I mean, they've taken some stuff off of like original Xbox Live, and some servers have gotten shut down and stuff. But I can still download the stuff, everything that I purchased on the PlayStation Network or Xbox Live, and Steam hasn't gone anywhere yet. So those things at least have a track record that you could point to and say, so far we have not been fucked. What a depressing what a depressing sentiment. I want to put that on a t-shirt.
Yeah. Steam hasn't fucked us yet.
Yep, that's about as much as you could say in this particular day and age. All right, take a little micro break there. Actually, while we were doing that, Jason, I did look it up. You can totally back up any game that installs to Steam that does not require a third-party installer, like an MMO or something like that. You can back it up with the Steam backup function, burn it to a CD, and then have it, and then restore it by opening up Steam, logging into your account, and then backing it up from the disk that you created. So
that's good.
Yeah, there you go.
That's really good.
So Carl, there you go. If you're really righteous about it and you want to make CD backups of your Steam games, totes can. So just look for the Steam backup feature. All right, we got 2 more quick questions because we're running real long today. And the first one is to me, and it's from Lucky. Lucky said, I heard through the grapevines that you played Five Nights at Freddy's and did not like it one bit, but that's okay. However, if you could, maybe explain why the game did not suit you. Oh, Jason, I had this little freak out last week about our talking about horror games or whatever on here. Anyway,
Right.
So, you haven't played Five Nights at Freddy's, right?
No, I really, really want to because that sounds right up my alley. I'm very curious about it.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you a few things about Five Nights at Freddy's that I did not care for. One, it seems like it's very much a Slender style game where you've got these cameras and you're switching between the cameras, and then you're switching between them, and these animatronic things are walking around, and it's very much SCP Containment Breach with SCP-173 or Slenderman, where you gotta, when you're looking at them, they don't move, but then if you switch and then you look back and then they're gone, and then they pop up and destroy you. And so it's very much kind of just like a jump scare type of game, and I don't. The characters just really weren't that scary to me, and I think the main issue that I had with it was that the premise was so contrived. It was like The Purge, right? Where they're like,
how do you mean? Because I thought the premise sounded really cool from what I read.
So the premise of the game is that you're in this security office at this kind of Showbiz Pizza, this Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, right? And you have your job is you are the night watchman, and you have to make sure that the animatronic robots don't murder you. And you've got this power level that is just constantly going down. And everything that you do in the game, you turn on the cameras to look all around and see where the robots are, drains the power. And then then there's also, when you're in this office, there's a door on the left and a door on the right, and you can close those doors because if the animatronic robots get super close to the door, you don't close the door so they don't come in and murder you. But that makes the power level go down more, and you go, but when you run out of power, then like, okay, I don't mean to be that guy, right? I don't mean to be that horror movie guy, but like if the animatronic robots are really running around trying to murder you, just close both the doors and you're done. Why would keeping the door closed? It's a giant Star Trek like metal door, right? That closes like an airlock, right?
Yeah.
When it closes down, how is it still making my energy meter go down?
Magnetic locks.
Okay. Or on the other hand, two people, if they just hired two people with flashlights, with mag lights, just point them out of one side of the door or the other side of the door, problem solved. If the robots can't go at you, and maybe
management doesn't know that there's a horrible problem here.
No, the first thing that happens when you load up the game is you're in this office and this guy calls you on the phone. He's like, "Hi, it's your first night here. I just want to give you the rundown." He's just like, "Yeah, if the robots, if they see you, they're probably just going to assume that you're a malfunctioning robot. They're probably going to try to take you and stuff you into one of the suits. And that'll probably kill you. So make sure that you close the doors." The whole thing didn't. You had to suspend so much disbelief about what was going on, and the animatronic things weren't like really super scary. And I spent a lot of time just trying to look through the static on the view display, and I never got out of night 2 because I wasn't feeling it. Like I was just sitting there trying to play this game. And at one point, it's like I was sitting in the room, and there was one of them that was coming down the hall for me, and I was turning the light on, I was turning it off to conserve power, trying to make sure that it didn't come in. And so at one point, the game just stopped letting me turn the lights on or off, and the door wouldn't open or close. And I was just stuck there. So
because you ran out of power?
No, because I had lost the game. And so what it was doing was it was forcing me to go to the camera view so that when I came back out of the camera view, the thing was right there on the screen to go, bah, and like jump scare me and game over.
Yeah.
And I was just sitting there punching this button like, well, I have 65% power left. Let me close the door. But the game has decided that you're in this fail state and you can't do it. I don't know. The whole thing is like a couple of doors or a couple of Coleman lanterns in the hallways, or two people to look in two directions. I don't know. And it just didn't really do it for me. I said when I'm a little freak out, like I'm just not going to play horror games anymore. I think that I need to play a different sort of horror game than this kind of horror game. These games don't do that much for me. I don't really enjoy the scary parts of them, and they just don't really affect me like I think they should. I like Silent Hill, the 2, where it's all creepy and spooky and like, what the fuck is even going on here?
Well, it really sounds like that your problem is with game mechanics with this. And that's, I think, a valid argument.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's like there's a whole bunch of cameras, right, in the this thing that you can flip between. Just like what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm looking at a screenshot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like 10 or some odd cameras that you can cut between. Well, can't I just use the numpad for that to cut between the different cameras? Like I don't know. That maybe seems like a weird nitpick, but like you've got all these cameras, you're constantly switching between them, and part of the game is trying to follow these things as they're warping around. Can't I just hit camera 1, camera 2, camera 3, camera 4 instead of having to click on this and click on that? I don't know. The whole thing just didn't work for me, and my brain got too much into the pattern of just like of like I said, the purge, right? Of this is a dumb concept. I understand. Okay, SCP containment breach. You're in an SCP facility. They're like, get in there or we'll shoot you. And if you don't go, then they shoot you. Slender Man, you're out in the forest. I don't want to sit here and say that you can't say that for Slender Man. Why didn't he just crawl back over the fence, right?
Well, here's something that I actually I had a discussion with Brian about this not too long ago. Is that some things you have to treat them like an old Twilight Zone episode? Mm-hmm. Is that you get over the conceit, and like with The Purge, and then suddenly everything is much more enjoyable. It's like kind of like Shirley Jackson's The Lottery. Mm-hmm. Would that ever happen? No, probably not. But once you get over that conceit, it's a lot of fun, and it's an enjoyable yarn.
See, now that might be the other problem that I have with Five Nights at Freddy's is that there isn't really a story. You're just trying to survive from the time that it starts until like 4 a.m. or whatever, and all of the times that you die, it's just a jump. It's just a jump scare. I mean, sometimes the robots will move around a little bit, but for the most part, it's just, oh, I wasn't looking, and then you close the camera, and then bah, it's in your face, and it goes brr, and you're just like and I don't know. It didn't do anything for me. But then I'm not really looking. It's not the it's not the kind of game I'm really even looking to play.
Okay, well, I'm curious about it. I think I should try it out.
Sure.
When I get back to Earth.
Yeah.
And I'll come over and I'll give it a shot. Maybe we'll record it and post it because I'm actually really curious. That's one of the few games out right now that I really want to dive into.
Okay, you know what, Jason, I would absolutely love to have you, or say you and Grant, or like I don't know, you and Allison, or somebody who appreciates this kind of stuff, play this. And
record it. You know what? Allison and I will come over and we'll play Five Nights at Freddy's, and we'll record our reactions and everything, like Grant versus Game style.
Okay, great, wonderful. Because I think that that's what I think you guys would be much better at it than I would. One last question, and this is a really easy one, and one you should be able to answer right this second, Jason. This one comes from Ken. He says, Jeff, Jason may have gone a little hard a little early this long weekend and feel Sunday is going to crush me. This was from last week when it was Labor Day. What are your recommended, tried and true hangover cures? Signed, the boy with the bucket, Ken.
Oh, Ken. It's all about sleep. Mm-hmm. Sleep and water. If you have the presence of mind before you pass out, drink as much water as you can. Mm-hmm. Like, past the point of comfort. Drink a lot of water, and then sleep a lot. Mm-hmm. That's the key. That's the secret. If I were to consume a substantial amount of liquor and then go to sleep versus consuming a substantial amount of liquor and drinking a lot of water and then going to sleep, the latter is always going to provide the better morning for me.
Mm-hmm. Here are things that I can tell you. Water is good. Gatorade is really good. I find that a lot of times they have at least here, I don't know where you are, Ken, but here in Austin, it seems like everywhere has 2 Gatorades for $3. So I get those, and then I drink one before I go to bed, one when I wake up. Greasy, salty food is great for trying to soak some of that shit up and kickstarting you the next day. If you get somebody to bring you a cheesesteak when you're hungover, oh man, so good.
That's a good call. Yeah.
The other one is don't. And I don't know why I do this. Maybe I just hate myself or whatever. But when you wake up the next day and you have hangover, get some water, get some Gatorade, but by all means, get some aspirin in you as well. I don't know why I like to sit around and wait for my hangover to quotey fingers. It'll just go away on its own once it's done. Whereas if you just take some aspirin, then it'll be gone. Excedrin is good too because it has caffeine in it. So you get some, get rid of your headache and maybe pep you up a little bit while you're at it. But yeah, if you can just sleep it off, that's probably the best advice ever.
That's what I always do. I mean, if I get like just ridiculously obliterated on Saturday,
yeah,
I will sleep all day on Sunday. It's like, oh, well, if I'm awake, I'm miserable. Well, then I'll just go to sleep.
Yeah.
Problem solved.
I don't really have the luxury of ever sleeping. There's always something to be done here. Well, that's all the emails that we're going to answer this week. If we didn't answer your question, you can send it back in. Jason, I'm going to ask your opinion. We're getting a lot of questions with people after we had that one email kind of asking us for career advice. We had another question this week, I think, that was talking about college and whether you should go to college, and we had a few people who have emailed us talking about these very in-depth kind of asking us what we think that they should do with their careers, and I just don't know. I haven't brought many of them up because I just don't know. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people would like us to talk to them about that, but I just don't know if it's the sort of thing that we should do on a podcast, right?
You know what? I think we absolutely should do it on a podcast.
Yeah, like this podcast.
Well, not right now, but the Rage Select podcast, yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. We are here, as is our great lord of giant schlong Dongacles. We are here for the listeners, so let us guide them. Let us see what direction the massive phallus of Dongacles points.
Okay. All right. Well, then what I'm going to say is that if you guys have those kind of questions, you can send them in. I am going to limit them, though, to one a week because we do get a bunch of other questions. So if you would like to get your question answered, send it to mail@rageselect.com. That is mail@rageselect.com. Please do not send your questions to the admin account. And with that, we're going to go ahead and finish up. But Jason, you're going to be back on Earth soon.
I will return.
Okay. I'm just going to let people know right now that I'm not the kind of boss to make Jason immediately start doing stuff. And so I think you're going to be back like the day after Destiny comes out. So I don't know. I guess maybe we'll visit Destiny with Grant and then revisit Destiny with Jason a little while later.
Put Destiny in my face. I'm ready.
You ready? You psyched?
I'm ready.
As of this podcast coming out, it'll just be 2 short days until Destiny.
Dude, I honestly, I don't know that any of us are more excited than Aaron, though.
Oh, yeah. Aaron is probably the most excited for Destiny of all time.
Yeah. His boner for Destiny is vibrating like a tuning fork right now.
All right. Well, I tell you what, stay safe, Jason, and don't drink any brushwood flavored moonshine because I don't know, that guy he's on another level. He's like antifreeze and Wookiee hair.
I'm not gonna drink any mint Russians. I think that's a trap. It's a trap. We're out of them anyway, he says.
Oh.